throughout the playoffs. Tigers, though, trying to catch Texas to win home field advantage in the first round as well. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, glad to have you with us here as we begin the final three-game series of the regular season. Rod Allen will join us in a minute. You know, in the history of trading deadline acquisitions by the Tigers, two really stand out. The guy going tonight is one of them, Doug Fister for the Tigers. The other, of course, would be Doyle Alexander. And there are some similarities in these two acquisitions. Remember back in '87, Doyle Alexander 9-0 down the stretch, leading the Tigers into the playoffs. Well, Doug Fister did just about the same thing for Detroit this year, 7-1 in the stretch run for Detroit and an ERA of 2.02. The hope is Fister can lead the Tigers a little bit deeper into postseason play. Tigers Indians coming up. Right now we go back to the Coliseum Studios. Here's Mickey York. Baseball here in downtown Detroit. The Cleveland Indians are in town for the start of a three-game series. Here is the lineup for the visiting Indians, brought to you by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Fukudome, Kipnis, and Asdrubal Cabrera, your top three. Then Travis Hafner, the designated hitter. Shelley Duncan is out in left. Lonnie Chisenhall, the rookie, is at third base. And the bottom three tonight, Laporta, Carrera, and Lou Marson. Here is the scouting report on Tigers right-hander Doug Fister. It's presented tonight by Ace Hardware.
Well, since Doug Fister put on a Tigers uniform, he has simply been awesome. And the one thing that you notice about him on the mound, he has really good stuff, but his mound presence is really off the charts. He does a lot of things right, holds runners, keeps the ball in the ballpark. And, of course, this is his final tune-up before he will get the ball Saturday, Game 2 of the LDS.
And so we begin our final regular season series. The Indians in town for three. First pitch of the ball game is in for a strike on Kosuke Fukudome. Nice night for baseball here. The weather has cleared up nicely. 66 degrees our game time temp. Fukudome batting .257. The 0-1 is hit in the air toward left field. Delman Young cruising over, and he's under it for the out.
Well, you know, Delman Young is in left field, but let's take a peek at the remainder of the Tigers defensively. It's presented by Beaumont Health System. It's Dirks in center, Jackson with a rare night off. Rayburn's in right, Don Kelly, 3-run homer yesterday. He's at third. Santiago Rhymes up the middle, the big fella. He's anchored at first, and Alex Avila is behind the dish once again.
Doug Fister's numbers have been outstanding. He has gotten his record up to 10-13, courtesy of that great stretch run here with Detroit.
He got no run support whatsoever when he was with Seattle, but he is getting tons of run support with his new team.
Missing down low to Jason Kipnis, the Indians' second baseman. One of a couple of youngsters they have taken a look at this year. Getting an opportunity along with Chisenhall. Here's a swing and a miss. He tried to hold up 1-1.
Doug Fister, the last time he saw this Cleveland Indians team, he probably pitched the best game of his career. He pitched 8 innings, he gave up 4 hits, and he struck out 13 Indians.
That slides in there for a strike. And the count now is 1-2. 101 pitches. He struck out 13, had just 1 walk.
And he could have very easily gone back out there for the 9th, if not Jim had that real good bullpen.
2-2 on Kipnis. Fister 4-0 in the month of September, an ERA under 1, 0.69 this month. His final tune-up outing before the playoffs. He will start game 2 for Detroit. The 2-2 fouled off. So as you look at it, Verlander game 1, Fister game 2, Scherzer game 3, and the Tigers have to feel really good about that trio heading into postseason play.
No doubt. They've all had really nice stretches of dominance this year.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's strike 3 call. Kipnis didn't like it, but he's out of there.
He has the ability to throw that cut fastball inside to the left-handed batters, and they just can't pull the trigger on it. And take a look at the movement on this pitch. Real good fastball there by Fister.
2 gone. That'll bring up Asdrubal Cabrera, who's had a career year for the Cleveland Indians. 25 home runs this season. In there for a strike.
I was talking to Brad Penny after one of Fister's starts a couple of starts ago, and Brad said from the dugout, when Fister lets the ball go, it looks like it's going to bounce, literally, when he throws his fastball, because he's 6'7". He's throwing downhill, and it looks like it's going to bounce, and all of a sudden, Alex Avila's catching it around the belt buckle.
And he's ahead of Cabrera here, 0-2. On a one hopper to second base, Rhymes will gobble it up, and a quick 1-2-3 for Doug Fister. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Lineup presented by Big Boy. Rhymes, Kelly, and Delman Young at the top tonight. Then you've got Cabrera in the middle along with Martinez and Avila. Bottom 3 tonight with Ryan Rayburn, Ramon Santiago. Andy Dirks will get the start in center field, and he will bat 9th. Ubaldo Jimenez climbs on top of the hill as Will Rhymes steps in, getting the start at second base this evening. Rhymes at .228 in the big leagues this year. And he looks at a ball outside from Jimenez.
Yeah, Jim was talking about Rhymes today, and he simply said that Johnny Peralta needed a day off, and therefore he was going to go to Rhymes here today.
There's a strike 1-1.
Something Jim has done a marvelous job of this year, and that's taking the heartbeat of his players and knowing when to give them a spell.
Bouncing ball slowly towards second. Kipnis has it. One away. The Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Ubaldo Jimenez. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Ubaldo came over at the trade deadline from the Colorado Rockies. He's got a big arm. His fastball will get from 94 to 97 miles an hour. But the transition to the American League hasn't been all that smooth for Jimenez. He is just 4-3 with a .462 earned run average in his Cleveland uniform.
So Don Kelly steps in. Kelly at third base again in this ball game, hitting .250. Hit a 3-run homer in yesterday's game. And Don now has hit 7 this year. He shows bunt. And it's 1-1.
With the uncertainty of Wilson Betemit for the postseason, and Jim has said he is concerned about Betemit, Don Kelly might get a few starts at third base.
Starting to look like it. There's a bouncing ball to first. That's a fair ball for Laporta. And there are 2 gone.
Let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians defensively. It's presented by Tim Hortons. It's Duncan in left. Carrera is in center. Fukudome is in right. Chisenhall, Cabrera, Kipnis, Laporta round out the infield. And Lou Martin with a real good throwing arm behind the dish, putting down the fingers for Ubaldo Jimenez.
Now Delman Young batting in the 3 slot again tonight. And he looks at a strike. Delman batting .263. Two for 17 on the homestand so far for Young. No balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2 from Jimenez. Missed it outside, 1-2. Ubaldo is 27 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. He goes 6'4", 210. Swing and a miss, and he carves up the Tigers here in the first inning. They go 1-2-3, and we're headed to the second at Comerica. Rams, stop by Ram Power Days today at your local Ram dealer. And by Dodge, visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. Well, it's turned into a really nice night here in the Motor City as we go to the top of the second. Really good pitching matchup at the ballpark tonight. Pfister and Jimenez. And both went 1-2-3 in the first inning, and now Travis Hafner leads it off for the Indians here in the second. Fister starts him off with a fastball strike in the inside corner, 0-1. Hafner batting .280. He's hit safely now in his last 8 straight games. Not a whole lot of success against the Tigers, though, this year. .217. 57 RBIs this year for big Travis Hafner. Here is Fister's 1-1 pitch. Fouled straight back. 1-2 on Hafner.
Very seldom does Fister miss over the heart of the plate. Everything tailing down and away from the left-handers or that cutter in on the right-handers. Good breaking balls are always at the bottom of the strike zone. This guy has not made many mistakes in that hitting zone since putting on a Tigers uniform.
And the 1-2. Bouncing in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, I'm not sure the Tigers anticipated Fister would give them what he has given them. I thought they felt that, he would give them some quality starts, a good solid guy to join the rotation, but all of a sudden he's your number 2 in the playoffs.
He's been better than advertised, that's for sure.
Here's the 2-2. Fouled off.
But it really doesn't take a long time if you spend a little time around Fister to know that he is all business. Obviously on days when he's pitching, but it's the other 4 days that he's getting a lot of work in the weight room, doing a lot of things. He's a real good teammate.
He was 3-12 with the Seattle Mariners this year before being acquired by the Tigers. 7-1 with Detroit. Here's the 2-2. It's low. 3-2 on Hafner. Hafner to be followed by Shelley Duncan and then Lonnie Chisenhall. Here's the full count pitch. High towering fly ball to center field. Dirks was in his tracks. Now he backs up. And he'll run it down in front of the warning track. 1 out. It's kind of reminiscent of a deal the Tigers made back in 1987 when Doyle Alexander came over from the Atlanta Braves and went 9-0 down the stretch. And Fister, meanwhile, is 7-1. Four in a row retired by the Tigers right-hander. Now Shelley Duncan.
That is a high yield investment. And better than the stock market right now.
Yeah, just about most anything is, unfortunately. Here's the strike called on Shelley Duncan. Duncan at .269 is hit safely in his last 5. The 0-1. There's a strike on the outer edge as Fister continues to pound the strike zone.
Last time we saw Shelley Duncan, he was hitting a couple of home runs against the Tigers. That was in Cleveland. And he hit him against Verlander. I'm sure JV would appreciate me mentioning that.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up again. That's fouled back out of play. With Verlander's ear this year, that's about the only thing that went wrong this season.
You got to give Manny Actor some credit. And a lot of managers are starting to do this against Verlander because he is so dominant. You may as well put a guy in the lineup that has some power. If JV does happen to make a mistake, then they might just run into one.
Shattered bat, look out. Ball goes into the stands. The barrel goes all the way down the left field line.
A couple of starts ago here at Comerica Park, Fister must have broke about 6 bats. He had that real good 2-seam fastball running in on the right-handers. And the Tigers infielders were dodging the barrel of the bat all night long.
Oh, 0-2 on Shelley Duncan. 5 for his last 10, so he's been relatively hot of late. And he fouls that one off.
Fister has thrown 23 pitches, and only 5 have missed the strike zone.
Well, and that's why this guy doesn't walk too many. He has walked only 5 in a Tigers uniform in over 63 innings now. He's ahead 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Duncan. Shelley spent parts of 7 years in the Yankees organization before he got his first opportunity. 11 home runs this year. Ground ball foul, third base side. And so Duncan now working Fister here. It is going to be an 8-pitch at bat. The next pitch will be number 8. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. And Doug Fister has his second strikeout tonight. Well, although our final game telecast is Wednesday with the end of the regular season, we'll be with you throughout the playoffs for live post-game shows following each Tigers game. So make sure you tune in to Tigers Live playoff coverage beginning Friday right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Let's take a look at that last cut fastball to Duncan at 88 miles an hour. It looks like it's right down the middle. And as soon as Duncan starts to swing, and the ball goes to the outer edges of home plate.
Lonnie Chisenhall, the batter. 5 up, 5 down now against Fister. Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball to second. Rhymes has it lined up. Chisenhall is out. Another 1-2-3 for Mr. Fister. On our way to the bottom of the second.
Has put himself right at the top of the batting leaders this year. 341. Michael Young now second, along with Adrian Gonzalez.
And Cabrera takes strike 1 to start things off in the bottom of the second. It'll be Cabrera, Martinez, Avila as Cabrera chases the batting title now. With 3 to go, and there's a base hit to right.
Fascinating player.
Maybe more. Let's see. It's going to be cut off, and Cabrera will hold up with a single. 7-game hitting streak now for Miguel. And what a homestand it's been. 10 hits now.
You know, some people from the media were talking to Jim Leland today, and obviously one of the topics of conversation was Miguel Cabrera, and was he surprised with what he's been doing and different things like that? And Jim said, where have you people been? He's been doing this since 2008.
It's over 100 RBIs again this year, and now maybe a batting title.
He had to leave yesterday's game. He was a little bit dizzy, and I caught up with him in the Tigers clubhouse, and he said he was feeling fine, but he did say that he's battling a little bit of a cold.
Here's Victor Martinez.
We should all be battling a cold and be playing as well as Miguel Cabrera is playing right now.
Well, it's tough to go through an entire season without catching something. Flu, cold. 0-1 on Martinez. Bouncing ball to first. Laporta throws to second, 1. And the relay is in time, a double play. Cabrera just put on the brakes 3 or 4 steps off the bag.
That's a smart play by Cabrera, because had Laporta gone and tagged the bag and then thrown the ball to second base, Cabby could have gone back.
That's a good point.
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
If Laporta goes to the bag and he touches the bag, obviously that takes the force play off, and Cabrera, he knows that. He doesn't have to go all the way to second base. He could have retreated, and he would have made it back safely.
That's why Leland says this guy is a smarter baseball player than people realize.
That's right.
So the bases are empty now with 2 outs. Here is Avila. Alex batting .295. And he looks at strike 1. 19 home runs for Avila. One of those this year against the Tribe. He's knocked in 9 against Cleveland pitching. And that is with the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Avila has great hands. He has really good plate discipline. Very seldom do you see him out in front. And when he transfers his weight, he brings his hands through the strike zone nicely. Really good, strong hands.
Tipped into the glove. That is 1-2 on Avila.
Ubaldo has already touched 96 in this game, so obviously he's a little amped up. His final start of the year, and the fact the Tigers have beat up on him pretty bad since he's put on that Cleveland Indians uniform. I guess he's trying to make a statement here tonight.
Well, the one start that really sticks out to me is that start the Tigers laid an 8 spot on him back on August 21st here in Detroit.
Yes, they did.
They pounded in pretty good on that day. He went 3 1/3, 9 hits, 8 runs. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away. He then rebounded, though, the next start he made against the Tigers. On September the 5th, he gave up 3 runs in 7 innings. That was in Cleveland. And there's that start there. 117 pitches with 8 strikeouts. Two and 2 on Avila. Run it full now, 3-2. Ryan Rayburn waiting on deck. And he walked him. Alex induces the base on balls. Tigers get a 2-out base runner. Avila has just picked up his 72nd walk of the year. Here's Rayburn. Ryan playing right field tonight. 4 for 10 on the homestand. It's been a really good month of September for him. 375 this month. And strike 1 on Rayburn. Jimenez coming over in a deal with the Colorado Rockies at the deadline. He is under control until the 2013 season, so they have him for a few more years. It's down the right field line. It looks like trouble. That ball is up against the wall. Avila coming at third. They're going to send him home. Here comes the relay to the plate. Not in time. Rayburn goes to third, and the Tigers get a 2-out run.
Nice piece of hitting here by Ryan Rayburn. He gets himself a breaking ball. He stays with it, keeps the head down. He drills it off the gate. The ball doesn't bounce up, and that allows Avila, who was running from first base, to score after Kipnis the second baseman had a little difficulty getting the ball out of his glove. Avila knows right now that he's going to have to score for Gene Lamont, and he knows that. That's why he's going as aggressively as he was to third base.
A 3-base hit for Ryan Rayburn. And the Tigers have a 1-0 lead.
Most third base coaches will tell their base runners, just give me an opportunity to send you. And that means you have to come to third very aggressive.
Santiago hits a ground ball foul. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ramon. Well, the double play looked like it was going to take the air out of the sails, but then a 2-out walk by Jimenez and a triple by Rayburn. Here's the 1-1. Pulled on the ground to second. Kipnis has it. And that's going to be it for Detroit. But they get a 2-out run. Triple by Rayburn. Makes it 1-0 Tigers. Jim Leland talks about how he and his coaches make decisions on the playoff roster.
You don't have to be in a hurry. So sometimes a coach may go home at night and have a thought, and it's a pretty good thought. And the next day, some other coach might go home that night and have a good thought. So you keep discussing it, keep talking about it, until you finally make a decision. I just spoke with Carlos Guillen. He will not be on the first round. But that does not mean he will not be on a postseason roster at some point. So, you know, that could change.
And so when the skipper says there's still a lot of work to be done, it's basically deciding which 25 will be on the roster in the first round, although a lot of those decisions have already been made. Matt Laporta leads it off, and he rolls the first one foul.
The fact that there is no Carlos Guillen for the first round and possibly no Wilson Betemit for the first round, that takes away a couple of possible lethal bats off the bench, a couple of switch hitters that are professional hitters.
Jim was asked about Betemit before the game today, and he just did not seem very optimistic about it. There's a strike called on Laporta, and he, along with Delman Young, had provided some key RBIs after their acquisitions. Fisker ready with the 0-2. Laporta thought about it, didn't go for it though.
There were some games this year where the Tigers had 4 switch hitters in that lineup, and that makes it tough for the opposing managers late in games to match up his bullpen against.
That's a nightmare, isn't it?
It is.
It's fouled away.
Wilson Betemit was out today with Javar Gillette. He handles the conditioning of the players, and he's getting a little help wrapping that knee, and you can see he's just not moving all that well.
Somewhat apprehensive in his workouts, it appeared. There's a fly ball to center, not deep. Andy Dirks is coming in on it.
But if they can get him healthy enough just to swing the bat off the bench and be a weapon, that's a good thing.
Peralta getting the night off tonight. Of course, Betemit not ready to go. Tigers ahead 1-0 on the Rayburn RBI triple. Ezekiel Carrera, the batter now. In his third stint with the big club, Carrera can run. He's got some speed. .246 hitter. Bouncing ball right back to Pfister, who makes a marvelous play. Nicely done. Pfister with a backhanded play.
Pfister does a lot of things right on the mound. Not overpowering, but he throws lots of strikes. He keeps the ball out of the center of the plate, and then once he delivers the ball toward home plate, he becomes another defender. He can really make some plays off that mound. I was kind of thinking about Pfister as well going into the postseason, because I've been talking about the opposing teams that can really run, the potential playoff teams that have stolen over 100 bases. Each team has, basically. Pfister shuts down the running game. There has been only 6 stolen bases against Pfister in 70 big league outings. 70 big league outings, not innings, outings. Only 6 stolen bases against Doug Pfister.
The 0-1. That'll get back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes.
So even if you're Tampa, even if you're the Yankees, even if you're the Boston Red Sox, all 3 teams have really good base stealers. More than likely, they're not going to get loose against Pfister. And Verlander, as we well documented, he's picked off more base runners since he came to the big leagues than any right-hander. So it bodes well for the Tigers.
Did he go? We did not. One ball, 2 strikes. Lou Marson hitting with 2 outs. Pfister has retired the first 8 straight that he has faced. Swing and a miss. And Pfister has himself another 1-2-3 inning, his 3rd strikeout tonight. And by Mario Olives. Taste the Mario difference. I've got my own olives now.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
They didn't hand me the card until like there were 3 seconds before we came back because they didn't want me to see it. Mario Olives, everybody, try them. They're really good. Here is Andy Dirks to lead it off. It'll be Dirks, Rhymes, and Kelly. And that is back to the hill after giving up a run. That ball is drilled to center field, but right there is Carrera. And there is 1 out. Let's go back to the studio now. Time for a game break and Mickey York. Everybody's got to get in the act. Everybody's a comedian. Here's the ball high to Will Rhymes. Rhymes bounced out his first time up. Starting at second base tonight for the Tigers. A 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball back up the middle and through. Will has himself a 1-out single.
It's tough to stay sharp. Tough to stay sharp, I should say, if you're not getting consistent reps in the month of September. And Will hasn't played all that much, but he didn't have a big swing. Just simply drove that ball right back up the box.
And the Tigers have their third hit of the game. That'll bring up Don Kelly. He bounced out his first time up. Rhymes measuring his lead off the bag. And it's strike one on Kelly. Don in the homestand with a home run, 3 RBIs. He's 2 for 11. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers have 3 here against Cleveland. That'll close out the regular season. Off day Thursday. Playoff start Friday. Still trying to decide where they will start. Right now, the Tigers would open up in New York if they were to start today. They trail Texas by a game for the second best record. In the air to shallow left. Everybody's running for it. Duncan will get there. 2 gone. It's going to bring up Delman Young. Young struck out back in the first. Delman came in with really good numbers against Ubaldo Jimenez. 7 for 12 with a home run. Bouncing ball deep in the hole off the glove of Cabrera. Now Struble unable to backhand it. Everybody is safe.
You've watched a lot of the highlight shows this year. You know that Cabrera can make this play in his sleep, really. And he probably would have had time to throw back and get the out at second base had he been able to field it cleanly.
It's a base hit for Delman Young. Tigers have their 4th hit. Keeps the inning going now, and it brings up the big boy, Miguel Cabrera, who singled back in the second, raising his average to 342.
There's probably only a handful of guys in the major leagues that beat up on #1 starters, and Cabrera would be one of those guys. Usually when you go up against a #1 starter, you don't get good swings against him, but Cabrera beats up on starters and closers, some of the best pitchers in the game.
19 RBIs in the month of September, and 416 this month coming in, so he's raised that a notch with the base hit tonight. Talk about finishing the season strong. Here's the strike call. So now in the month of September, 423 with 19 RBIs and 20 walks.
He's hitting 400 since the beginning of August. So we're talking 2 months, basically.
He'll step out now as Jimenez takes a little bit too much time. Tigers got a run in the second. RBI triple by Ryan Rayburn. And now they threaten here with 2 outs in the third. Line drive to center, base hit. Rhymes coming around to score. Delman going to third base. Cabby is 2 for 2, and he is on fire.
He's starting to smell that batting title. He has been the best hitter in the American League this year with runners in scoring position, 397. That number just went up a tick. We talked about Avila and his balance at the plate, but Cabrera, for a big guy, he has great balance through the swing as well.
The ball echoes off his bat. That's how hard he hits it. That's 5 hits now for Detroit. They have a 2-0 lead. And here is Victor Martinez. He takes strike 1. Martinez and Cabrera. Boy, the damage they've done here in the month of September. .44 RBIs combined between them. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jim was asked the question today, would he sit Cabrera down maybe on Wednesday if it looked like he was going to win the batting title, and obviously not wanting to run the risk of him having a bad day. And Jim said, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to play him every single day. We need to win games as a team, and because we need to try to get the home field advantage.
Ball low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Jim also went on to say, you know what, in 06 we didn't have home field advantage, and we did pretty well. We got all the way to the World Series. He said, would we like to have it? Yes. But is it a necessity? Absolutely not.
Meanwhile, Martinez has worked himself into a favorable count here, 2-1. Breaking ball stayed high, 3-1. You know, the amazing thing about Cabrera is, and obviously there are so many amazing things, but he plays every day, and instead of getting worn down in September, he's getting hotter. I mean, his numbers are the best they've been all year this month.
He has put himself right at the top of that MVP conversation, along with Justin Verlander and some other guys.
3-1. Avila would be next. And he walked him. Going to load the bases. Second walk for Jimenez. Time now for the Power 8 rankings, and we want to combine Cabrera and Martinez and look at their numbers and see how they stack up among Major League Baseball 4 and 5 hitters.
Lots of checks, lots of positive checks.
So they're loaded up now, and a chance for Avila. The ball that Cabrera was unable to handle, keeping this inning going. One ball, no strikes on Alex.
And good count here to hit that fastball. Should Jimenez try to throw it by Avila. He has done a lot of damage in these types of counts this year. Fastball counts. Really quick hands.
Avila this year hitting over 300 with 9 RBIs against Cleveland pitching. He's got the sacks full here with 2 outs. Tigers trying to break it open early here for Doug Fister. They lead 2-0. Strike called, and it's 1-2 on Avila. RBIs tonight for Rayburn and Cabrera. And the 1-2. It's lined toward left field. Fair ball that goes to the corner. Young scores. Cabrera scores. Martinez to third. And Avila has a double.
On the 1-1 pitch, Avila took a 96-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle. He was looking for a breaking ball in that count. But once the count went to 1-2, That's when you simply have to look for the ball and simply put it in play, especially if there's runners in scoring position. And he took a 94-mile-per-hour fastball and just flipped it to left field.
Avila gets 2 RBIs to give him 80 for the year. And the Tigers now jump out to a 4-0 lead. By the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the Big Mac. Using your cell phone, text Tigers, followed by a space in the player's uniform number to 37338, or you can vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. So here is Rayburn, the 8th man to bat in the inning. He's got Martinez and Avila aboard. And he looks at a strike, 0-1. 23rd pitch of the inning, just thrown there by Ubaldo Jimenez. Rayburn tripled in the second to give him the 47th RBI of the year that he's had. And now the 0-1. Ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Four runs on 6 Detroit hits. No runs, no hits for the Tribe tonight. And Jimenez struggling to get through the third. Inside. 2-2. Ubaldo was 6-9 with a 4.46 ERA with the Rockies when they acquired him. Santiago waiting on deck. Missed it again. 3-2. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss. Rayburn is out of there. Inning is over. Tigers have another nice inning, though. A 3-run third.
Said to this team since they acquired him. And one thing I have noticed from Doug in the clubhouse and of course out on the mound is what I'm calling the Fister focus. He is just always so dialed in, and I talked to him a little bit about it, and he said a lot of it is because when he's away from the field, he tries to clear his head. And the way he does that, of course, is by running. I'm not talking 4 miles. He's out there doing 10, 12 miles just to clear his head. In fact, he actually said after the season is over, he's going to run the Big Sur half marathon. Mario and Rod, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Shannon, thank you. Yeah, I run about 10 miles a day, don't you, Rod?
I can't run around this ballpark once.
Me either. Yeah, Pfister, he's in incredible shape physically. And running a half marathon, too. Pretty impressive. Fukudome leading it off.
It was a brilliant job by David Dombrowski's staff, the scouts that were scouting Pfister before the Tigers pulled the trigger and made the move. They gave up 3 pretty good players. I mean, they gave up Chance Ruffin. He was the #1 pick. They gave up also Furbush and Casper Wells.
Right. Yep, it was clearly a situation where the Tigers emptied out a lot of their farm system, but of course a couple of those guys were at the big league level, Wells and Furbush. But Dave had to make a deal that he felt to help his big league club right now, and boy, has it.
Well, the scouts, they knew with the Tigers' offense, Pfister would be better.
And he was getting really nothing to work with in Seattle. I talked to him a couple of days ago about how difficult it was to pitch.
He was getting less than 3 runs per game with the Mariners.
2-2 on Fukudome. Kipnis and then Cabrera here in the 4th. Chopper back to the mound. This one a much easier play for Pfister. 1 out.
Well, take a look at really the timeline of Dave kind of putting this team together. And it kind of started at the trade deadline last year with Peralta when they got him from the Indians when Inge was on the disabled list. I mean, Benoit, Albuquerque, V-Mart, Penny, Bettamy, Paulie, Pfister, Young, all contributing down the stretch this year to the Tigers' success.
Ball 1 to Kipnis.
That's a lot of pieces.
Kipnis fanned back in the 1st. Tigers in that Pfister deal also gave up Francisco Martinez, who is a minor league infielder that they were very, very high on.
So they gave up 4 in the deal.
So 4 in the deal, right? Martinez, he was only a 21-year-old infielder. There's a chopper hit to the shortstop. Easy play. Santiago. 2 up, 2 down. Time for the AT&T trivia question tonight involving our pitcher, Doug Pfister. Since the Tigers acquired Pfister, who are the only 3 pitchers in Major League Baseball with a lower ERA? Only been 3. Can you name them?
How about a hint?
You want a hint, do you? All right, how about this? They're all National Leaguers, which is not a big hint, but that'll cut it down a bit. All National Leaguers. Asdrubal Cabrera batting with 2 out. 11 straight retired by Pfister to start this game.
It has been a career year for Cabrera from an offensive standpoint. 25 home runs for Cabrera this year. He broke the old mark of Johnny Peralta. Most home runs by a shortstop in a Cleveland Indians uniform, and he's also driven in 92.
He pulls that one through. It's a base hit. Their first base runner of the night, a 2-out single here in the 4th. Well, it was such a big start for Cabrera, but the month of September he has cooled a little bit. Still 92 driven in, nothing to sneeze at. He's aboard now with their first hit. That'll bring up Travis Hafner. Struble has stolen 17. Tigers 4, Indians nothing as we play here in the 4th. First of 3 between these 2 teams to close out the 2011 regular season. They're employing the shift for Hafner. They give up the entire left side of the infield just about. Third baseman Don Kelly at what would be a normal shortstop position. Here's the 0-1. Shoots that one foul. 0-2 on Hafner. Travis right now top 10 all time in home runs in an Indians uniform. In fact, he is number 10 with 188 for the Tribe. Slice toward left field. Delman on the move, still going, runs it down. He cut it off in the gap. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Delman with a nice running play.
All plans include a credit to be used toward the 2012 suite package. For information, call 313-471-BALL or visit Tigers.com.
Tigers on top of this one, 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th, and Santiago leads it off for Detroit. Ramon looks at a strike called, and now it's quickly 0-2. Dirks will follow, and then Will Rhymes. Jimenez threw 27 pitches in that 3rd inning alone. He threw 27 combined in the first 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Santiago bounced out. He's 0 for 1. He chops that one foul. Ramon came in 3 for 9 against Ubaldo Jimenez. A good second half for the little guy. 308.
He told me today that everywhere he goes now, everybody calls him Sneaky and says that he should change his name to Sneaky. We always talk about his sneaky power.
High fly ball. He got under this one. And Fukudome is there. 1 gone. Hey, by the way, this game is available in high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Xfinity from Comcast. I like Sneaky. I think we should tag Sneaky.
He likes it too.
He doesn't mind it?
He doesn't mind it at all.
Sneaky he is. Here's Dirks. And he looks at ball 1. He flied to center field back in the 3rd. 4 runs, 6 Detroit hits. No runs, 1 hit for the Indians. Now the 1-0. Bouncing ball foul just outside of the bag. Tigers 47-22 against the Central this year. That's why they're going to the playoffs. Indians got off to the great start. Tigers kind of sputtered out of the gate, but in the end here, look at what the Tigers have done within the division.
Pretty special.
Outside, 2-1. Inside, 3-1. Jimenez facing 8 men back in the third, giving up 3 runs. 2-run double by Avila. RBI single by Cabrera. Fouled away. 3-2 on Andy Dirks. Young man from Kansas getting his first big league opportunity this year after a strong spring training. Three-two pitch. Popped him up. Cabrera, the shortstop. And 2 outs. Bring up Will Rhymes. Rhymes started that rally back in the third with a single. And he eventually came around to score.
Will Rhymes won the second base job out of spring training this year, but got off to a slow start and was sent back down to the minors. Had a couple of different stints in the big leagues this year. Finally called back up again in the beginning of September.
Ball inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It was Sizemore at the beginning of last year. Rhymes came on and had a cameo at the end of the year. Based on the fact that he hit 300 in the big leagues, got his opportunity this season. Chops this one to the second baseman. Kipnis has it. And Jimenez rights the ship with a 1-2-3-4. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. Nice night for baseball here at Comerica Park. The temperature is still in the mid-60s. It is 4-0 in favor of the Tigers as they try and march on and gain home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. They right now would have the Yankees the way it stands right now on the road, but Texas has just a 1-game lead over Detroit for the second best record, and on top of that the Tigers hold the tiebreaker too, so we'll see. Shelley Duncan leads it off, then Lonnie Chisenhall and Matt Laporta. Facing Doug Fister. Doug started this game by retiring the first 11 straight Indians he faced. Then Cabrera got a single against him, their only hit. There's the 2-0. 2-1 on Duncan. Shelley a strikeout victim back in the second.
You may have noticed the amount of time that Duncan took getting back into the batter's box after that 2-1 fastball that he swung through. And the reason for that is they're trying to slow Fister down. He's a quick worker. He grabs the baseball and he's getting ready to throw his next pitch, and opposing teams now have taken the luxury of trying to slow him down by doing several different things.
The 2-2. Shattered bat again. Rolled toward third. How about that play by the third baseman, Kelly? Nice tag. Kelly had to avoid the bat, and the third base umpire also had to avoid the bat.
It might have clipped him.
I think it did, because he's doubled over right now. May have got him on the leg. That's Manny Gonzalez.
And we talked about Fister's start a couple of starts ago here at Comerica Park, where he broke several bats of the right-handed batters, and the Tigers infielders on the left side were dodging barrels of the bat all night long, as Kelly did right there. And that bat did hit him.
This is really scary when you have that projectile, especially with the jagged edge. Kelly was able to avoid it. However, Manny Gonzalez was not.
Here's that first look. He didn't pick it up until late. He tried to get out of the way.
It appeared he was concentrating on calling that ball fair or foul. Then when he made the call, he realized, I need to move.
And Cabrera came off the bag to grab the ball, and he got Duncan as he was trying to slide into first base safely.
Some years Cabrera had to come off the bag a lot recently. He's had to come off and make that tag, and it always worries you that that first baseman's arm will get knocked around.
Well, that's one of the reasons why he does come off the bag, is because he doesn't want to kind of stick his arm in the baseline. So it's a smart play by Cabrera to do so when he has a chance to do it and tag the runner going by.
Here's Chisenhall. He fouls it straight back, 0-1. Lonnie bounced out his first time up. Still only one base runner so far tonight for the Indians. Here's Fister's 1-1. It's high. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And more than likely, Chisenhall will be their third baseman when they go to spring training next year. And they've identified him as a really good prospect, and they're going to give him every opportunity to mature as a big leaguer.
Get back out of play.
Really good manager in Manny Acta. His second managerial stint, and he was the Washington Nationals manager as well. And Manny's really good with young kids. Spent a lot of time in the minor leagues as a manager before finally getting a chance to go to the big leagues as a coach.
Here's the 2-2. Driven high in the air, center field. Dirks on a sprint, still going back. And he'll get there. 2 gone. There's that AT&T trivia question again tonight. Since the Tigers acquired Doug Fister, who are the only 3 pitchers in the major leagues with a lower ERA. They are Cliff Lee, Javier Vasquez, and Clayton Kershaw.
How about Javier Vasquez? He cannot pitch in the American League, but he can pitch in that National League.
Look at the rest of the names on that list. Halliday.
Kershaw might get a Cy Young this year.
Well, he's got to, don't you think?
Well, it's good pitchers over there.
Yeah. But his Ian Kennedy, yeah, that's another name. That's going to be an infield single for Matt Laporta.
I mean, really, when you look at that graphic, I mean, Cliff Lee's had a really good year, earned run average. I think Cliff Lee's had a couple of months where he's won 5 games on lots of shutouts. Kershaw, great year. Halliday, another great year. We talked about Ian Kennedy. They got some really good pitchers over in that National League this year vying for that Cy Young Award.
He's going to bring up Ezekiel Carrera. Kershaw leads the league in ERA and in wins, in games started, and in strikeouts.
Fabulous.
He is second by 1/3 of an inning to Roy Halladay in innings pitched as well.
We saw his act when we were out west.
We did.
And I think he struck out 11 Tigers and did it rather easily.
248 strikeouts for Kershaw. So we'll see who wins that award. We know who's going to win it in the American League. At least we hope we do. Verlander should get that award with no problem.
It should be unanimous.
I would hope so. They'll get the force at second base, and the inning is over. No runs and a hit, one left. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. And the last time the Tigers and Lions were both in first place, you've got to go back to September 29th of 1981.
Long time ago.
Long time indeed. Of course, the Lions off to a 3-0 start. Congratulations to them. Tigers off to the playoffs. Tigers lead this one 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Ubaldo Jimenez facing Don Kelly, Delman Young, Miguel Cabrera. Kelly takes a strike, a high strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. High, 2 balls and 1 strike. The 1981 teams had Lou and Tram, Lance Parrish behind the plate. They were just getting ready to take off and in a couple of years win the World Series.
Yeah, they were just babies then.
That's a fair ball down the right field line. Kelly is on his way to second. He'll pull in there with a double.
It's a nice job of Kelly pulling his hands inside on a breaking ball and keeping that ball fair. If you lead with your bat knob, that will allow the barrel of the bat to get in the area where it needs to get to make sure you don't hook that ball foul. A lot of left-handers, when they get that particular breaking ball, they will hook it into foul territory.
Tigers have their 7th hit. Delman Young takes outside.
If you're Jim Leyland in this situation with a runner on second base and nobody out, you're up by 4. You don't mind Delman Young trying to drive the ball into the gap somewhere to drive in the run. You don't really want him giving himself up. And what I mean by giving yourself up, and that's just trying to hit a ground ball to the right side of the infield to advance the runner to third. You want your big boys to swing the bat.
Ground ball towards short. As Asdrubal Cabrera off balance throw is high, and the tag made by Laporta.
Well, that's going to allow Manny Acta to walk Cabrera to set up the double play. That's why you wanted Delman to drive the run in.
Cabby with a single in the second, RBI single in the third. So 2 for 2, raising his average to 343.
And it looks like they're going to pitch to him.
Bouncing ball to short. Right at Cabrera. 2 gone. Runner advances. Does that surprise you?
It did. Especially with the amount of double plays that Victor has been hitting into lately.
He still hit a bullet, though. Right at Cabrera.
Manny Acta told me earlier this year when we were having a conversation about Cabrera and Victor Martinez and who he would pitch to. He said one guy absolutely terrifies him, and that would be Cabrera. So whenever he gets a chance to put him on, he will put him on. It's the first time I've ever heard a manager say a player he's terrified of.
Cabrera would be the guy. There's the ball to Martinez. Tigers about hit the Indians tonight, 7-2. They lead 4-0 in the fifth. Victor a walk and a double play ball. Breaking ball bends inside. 2-0 on Martinez.
And after thinking about Manny Acta pitching to Cabrera there, I mean, it might be a situation where, you know what, he feels like this team is going to win the division. They've already won the division. This guy's trying to win a batting title. I'm going to go ahead and pitch to him. I've got my best pitcher on the mound.
Could be. As it stands, Miguel 2 for 3 tonight.
But if the stakes were higher for the Cleveland Indians, I doubt very seriously if Cabrera would have got a chance to swing the bat there.
Strike call, 2-1 on Victor Martinez.
Talented trio sitting there on the bench. Jackson with a night off. Bosch, of course, is injured. And the big fella. 3 pretty good young players, too.
Still feel really bad for Brendan Bosch. Such a big part of this team's success. And then the thumb injury down the stretch. Thumb surgery. Driven down the right field line. Hooking. That's a fair ball. That'll get a run in. Victor on his way to second. He is in there with a double.
Victor has been beaten up on his former team lately.
Hard that he hit that ball. Is that a fair ball or a foul ball?
Don't say it too loud.
They called it fair.
Victor got on top of a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Most guys, when they're swinging left-handed, they like the ball down low.
Oops.
Oops.
Shh. Yeah, that appeared to be a foul ball. But that's all right. It's an RBI double for Victor Martinez. 102 RBIs. Avila looks at a strike.
Let's take one more swing at this. One more look at the swing. It's a fastball at 94, and it's up above the belt buckle, and Victor's able to get up there and get on top of it and hit a line drive off the wall 330 feet from home plate.
One ball, one strike. Five nothing. Tigers have the lead. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Avila.
Good changeup there by Jimenez at 85 miles an hour. He hadn't thrown very many of those. And you don't see Avila fooled very often and out front.
Ground ball back up the middle. It finds a hole. Here comes Martinez. Carrera's throw cut off. That'll get a run in. And Avila gets back to first base. 6-0.
He threw him an 85-mile-per-hour changeup, and he fooled Avila. He threw him another changeup. This time it stayed up. And Avila was able to hit this one right back through the middle. And then take a look at the base running skills here of Avila after the ball goes home. He goes as far as he can. He knows Laporta is the cut man, and there's no one at first base. So he could go halfway to second base, knowing that if he does cut it, he can still get back to first base and not worry. And had he let the ball go home, then, of course, Avila would have just went to second base.
Tigers now have 9 hits. They lead 6-0. And Ryan Rayburn steps in. Avila now with 3 RBIs tonight.
After getting a look at that second pitch, it might have been a split-fingered fastball. Jimenez does throw a splitter.
Now it's 3-0 on Rayburn. Tigers have 2 doubles and a base hit in this inning. As they continue to beat up on Ubaldo Jimenez. He's taking 3-1. Make it 3-2 now on Ryan.
Tigers are getting some good swings at Jimenez. And one of the things that he's going to have to do when he goes into the offseason is he's going to have to pull out the video and try to figure out a way to get these Tigers out, because obviously he's going to be wearing a Cleveland uniform next year, and he's going to have quite a few starts against the Detroit Tigers.
Ball high. And so Rayburn is aboard. Struggles continue for Jimenez.
All this damage done with 2 outs, too.
Action in the bullpen for the Indians. Corey Kluber is warming up. Meanwhile, Tim Belcher coming out to have a chat with Jimenez.
Hey, fans, after the game, stay tuned for Tigers Live for reaction, analysis, and highlights from tonight's game. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios and the ballpark here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Big lead tonight for Doug Fister, who has not needed much help. He has given up just 2 hits in this game. And Jimenez had a couple of long innings in terms of pitches thrown. Santiago, the batter, 0 for 2, fly ball, ground out. No balls, 2 strikes. 6 runs, 9 Detroit hits, no runs, 2 hits for the Indians. Texas playing the Angels later on tonight in Anaheim.
That's a big series.
1-2. Angels were still alive in the wild card, but their loss last night in the 9th inning severely hurt their chances. They are still barely ticking 3 out with 3 to go. Checked it, and he went. Strike 3. Inning is over. Tigers add 2 more, and they now lead 6-0. First pitch is outside. 1-0 on Marston, who struck out back in the third. One of 3 strikeouts that Fisker has recorded tonight. The 1-0 pitch. Make it 1-1 on Marston.
Marston swinging the bat well down the stretch, and if he continues to produce as a catcher, as far as hitting is concerned, he might just take over the everyday job, and they may put the very talented switch hitter Carlos Santana at first base for good.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Well, Manny Acta said going into the offseason, one of the things they have to decide is what they will do at first base. Matt Laporta has been somewhat of a disappointment in terms of where they thought he would be at this point in his career. Well, Manny said they may go outside the organization or remain inside. Checked it, and he went. Fisker has a strikeout, 1 gone here in the 6th. We go back to the studio for a game break. Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. And here it is 6-0 in favor of Detroit. Kosuke Fukudome stands in.
One thing we do know about Tampa or Boston, depending on who gets the wild card, they're not really going to be able to set their pitching rotation like the Tigers will have the luxury of doing because they've clinched so early.
Yeah, they're going down to the wire, literally. 1 game spread for the wild card.
Not so much an issue with Tampa because they have 5 good starters. But when you start talking about the Boston Red Sox, if they have to pitch Lester on Wednesday, then that obviously takes away from what they might do if they get in.
Here's the 0-2, bouncing ball to second. Will Rhymes. Fukudome is out. Fisker just cruising along.
He's fun to watch.
Here's Jason Kipnis.
You have any thoughts on potential playoff teams the Tigers might see?
Well, I'd love to play Boston just because of what you talked about. You know, if they get in, they're going to be limping in, and their pitching right now is just a shambles. I mean, Lester has not pitched well down the stretch.
That is a tremendous point, and I'm 100% on your side. But another factor in that Boston thing, sometimes teams that have to battle like that when they get in, just to get in, they just exhale when they get to the postseason, and they play really loose.
And here's the other thing. Speaking about that, going into Fenway Park is not the easiest thing to do either.
It is one of the more hostile environments in the big leagues.
2 strikes on Jason Kipnis. See you later. And Doug Fisker cruising along now with 5 strikeouts in this ballgame. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Fisker and the Tigers.
Third inning, it was a 94-mile-per-hour fastball by Jimenez with a couple of runners on, and Avila simply hit the ball where it was pitched, and he drove in a couple. And that's how you hit 300 in the big leagues, by being able to take a fastball like that the opposite way and find that left field corner. Coors Light Freeze Cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
And we have a new pitcher now in Wallside Windows pitching change. Corey Kluber is coming on now for the Indians.
In 27 starts in AAA, he had a .556 earned run average, 143 strikeouts, surrendered 19 home runs, and held the opponents to a .263 batting average.
Latest college ball, Stetson. And while we have a chance, let's go down now and join Shannon Hogan. Shannon?
Well, you guys, one thing that Jim Leyland was talking about this morning was how this could be a really distracting week. You're looking at who's going to have home field advantage, what's going on with the wild card race. He basically just told the guys, don't think about any of that. You just need to be here, focus to play this game, this series. Don't think about anything else. He said, pack your bags, be ready to go if we need to on Wednesday to fly out. But hopefully you'll be able to take those bags home, and they will have the home field advantage. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Shannon, thanks. And the thing the Tigers have going for them is that Jim Leyland has been through this a few times, and he can certainly impart some wisdom as to what the easiest way of getting through these hurdles are heading into the playoffs.
Jim kind of took care of all that in Kansas City. He told the players, don't make the flight reservations, don't worry about the tickets. You let somebody else handle that. You just get to the ballpark and make sure that you are ready to play.
Andy Dirks fouls it off.
He also talked about Tyson Steele, who now handles the traveling for the Tigers, and this is really the first year Tyson has done that, and for him to have to deal with a couple of different teams and possible postseason and all that kind of stuff, he says is a nightmare for Tyson. But Tyson has had a really good year in the travel department.
Dirks, meanwhile, strikes out, and one away. That'll be 4 strikeouts now for Indians pitching.
The Tigers wrap up the regular season against the Indians tomorrow and Wednesday at 7:05. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Could you imagine being the traveling secretary down the stretch?
Negative.
I mean, you don't know where you're going. Home, away. None of that stuff. Hotels.
Hotels to me would be the biggest nightmare, I would think. Of course, the Tigers fly charter, so that's all taken care of. That's not as difficult as making sure hotel rooms are ready. Will Rhymes, a single in 3 at-bats. Here's the 1-0 in the air toward left field. Shelley Duncan. A couple of quick outs for Corey Kluber. He's going to bring up Don Kelly. Kluber, originally a draft pick of the San Diego Padres. The Indians got him. The Padres in a 3-team deal, but that was a deal that sent Jake Westbrook to the Cardinals. Kelly has a double and a run scored. Strike one. 6-9-0 for the Tigers tonight. 0-2-0 for the Indians. One ball, one strike. Totally hit it. Down goes Kelly, who took it on the leg. And he hops right back up. 2-out base runner.
That hurt. And Don Kelly's not going to let us know just how much it hurt, but he got him right. Below the knee. That's why Jim loves him. He's tough.
Here's Delman Young. Delman, an infield hit back in the third, 1 for 3. And he's hit by the pitch.
No intent there by Kluber. He hit Don Kelly with a fastball that kind of got away from him, and then that's a breaking ball right there to Delman Young. So There's really no intent to whatsoever. And why in the world would he hit Delton Young to face this guy? If you really want to know the story.
Luper spent most of the year at AAA Columbus, where he was 7-11. Made 27 starts in their rotation. Cabrera 2 out of 3 tonight, plus an RBI. Breaking ball spins in for a strike, 0-1. Cabrera's average at 342. One ball, one strike. Kelly hit by a pitch. Young hit by a pitch. It sets up Cabrera. He sits safely in 7 straight. Miguel earlier this year had a 17-game hitting streak. That was back in the month of August.
Hitting .425 down the stretch in the month of September.
Bouncing ball to second. Kipnis on the backhand. Flips to second for the force. And the inning is over. No runs, couple of base runners. We're headed to the 7th.
Tickets to the games that you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
On their way to the 7th now in this one. The Tigers lead 6-0 behind Doug Fister, who has allowed just 2 hits so far in this game. Retired the first 11 straight that he faced. And he has 4 separate 1-2-3 innings. In there for a strike, 1-1 on Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera single and a ground out in this game. Fouled straight back, 1-2. Cabrera this year has 25 home runs, which is the all-time high in a single season for Indian shortstops. He eclipsed Johnny Peralta's 24, which was the previous high. Here's the 1-2. Pulled foul.
There are many that believe that Cabrera is going to win his first Gold Glove this year, even though he has committed 15 errors from that shortstop position. J.J. Hardy of the Baltimore Orioles has committed 6. Johnny Peralta has committed only 7 errors.
That'll go foul. 1-2. The count stays.
I think Cabrera has been a human highlight film this year. You see his plays just about every single night on every single highlight show, whereas guys like Hardy and Peralta, they're just steady. They catch every single ground ball.
Tried to check it, and he went around. Avila will tag him.
Can you justify giving a guy that's made 15 errors the Gold Glove over a couple of guys that have made a lot less errors and have pretty much had good offensive seasons too?
I guess you can justify it by saying that perhaps Cabrera has better range. That's why he has made more errors, and that's also figured into or factored into who should win the award. But that would be an argument I guess those guys would use. I mean, who would you pick if you had to pick?
Well, I'm biased, obviously. I'd go with Peralta. I would go with Peralta.
Who do you think will win it, though?
I have no idea. I really don't.
Hafner looks at a strike.
I really don't have a good idea.
I mean, let's be honest. That award should be to the guy with the best defensive numbers.
No doubt.
You know, and although Asdrubal taking absolutely nothing away from him, he's fabulous. But he has made more errors.
And you start to hear the whispers out of Indians camp at the fact that they really don't have that first baseman over there that kind of help him with picking balls out of the dirt. Laporte is still learning that position. Carlos Santana is a catcher by trade, so he gets no help when he does make somewhat of a bad throw over to first base.
Here's the 0-2 to Hafner. He's tied up.
But no shortstop has made more dazzling plays this year than Cabrera.
Yeah, that is for certain. He made some early this season that were just unbelievable, really. Fabulous defender. But you're right, sometimes you are punished in some ways because of your range. Strike called, and Hafner is out of it. Man, oh man, his fist was just cruising.
He carved you up.
7 strikeouts for Doug.
Well, we told you he had a start against the Cleveland Indians a few starts ago, and it was in Cleveland. He pitched 8 innings, gave up 1 run, and he struck out 13, which was a career high. And Fister said that was the best game he'd ever pitched.
Well, he's got 7 of them tonight. 3 in a row. Here's Shelley Duncan.
I remember talking to Bruce Fields, who is the hitting coach now for the Cleveland Indians, after that start that Fister made in Cleveland, and they really did not know his stuff was that good.
0-2.
Bruce, of course, was a hitting instructor with Alan Trammell and his staff for a few years.
And the 0-2. Off the plate.
He is just nasty. I mean, everything east to west, north to south with the breaking balls. Total of 91 pitches. Majority of them for strikes. Whoa, he's been up to 94 here tonight. That's pretty good.
He's ahead of Duncan here. 1-2. 2 outs in the 7th. 6-0 Detroit. Swing and a miss.
Look out, Fister.
Oh, man. 8 strikeouts for Doug Fister. Let's give him a hand.
including official Central Division champion merchandise. And get your team gear straight from the source at Tigers.com shop.
So it's stretch time here at the ballpark. Bottom of the 7th on tap here. 6-0 in favor of Detroit. Another spectacular evening for baseball here in the Motor City, and everybody's got their Tiger gear. Getting geared up for Friday night, game 1 of the playoffs.
And they got their Lions gear underneath that Tigers gear. You can bet that.
Here is Victor Martinez in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Martinez, Avila, and Rayburn. First pitch outside, 1-0. Victor in the ball game tonight, a walk and an RBI double. Let's see, first start tonight for Jimenez in 6 straight starts in which he did not go at least 6 innings. The Tigers bounced him out of the game after 5. Fouled away. Kluber took over in the 6th, hit a couple of batters, but neither of them scored.
Tigers in playoff form from a hitting standpoint. Not giving away at bats, seeing lots of pitches. And when they do get a really good pitch to hit, they're not missing them.
Driven to center field, and Carrera runs it down. 1 gone here in the 7th. Here's Avila. He's had a big night. Single double walk and 3 driven in, which puts Alex over the 80 threshold. 81 RBIs. In there for a strike, 0-1. Middle game of the series happening tomorrow. Max Scherzer and Janmar Gomez. Porcello and Zach McAllister close it out on Wednesday. 0-2.
Kind of tough for the Tigers going up against Kluber. They have not seen him before, therefore they really don't know the action on his pitches.
And nor is he really like a starter where you can sit before the game and watch tape, because they normally put the tape of the starter on in the clubhouse on the televisions, where you can at least get an idea of what a guy likes to do.
That's right. Now, he's already shown Avila that curveball a couple different times, and it looks like he wants to come back to it again. And usually it doesn't bode well for you unless you make a really good pitch.
Bouncing ball, right side of the infield. Kipnis throws him out. Two outs for Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn's been on base twice tonight, tripled in a run, has also walked. And he looks to strike 1.
This much I do know. It wouldn't take the Tigers very long if Kluber did stay out there for an extended period of time for some of the guys to go up there looking for that breaking ball, because he has kind of fell in love with it this inning.
And he's gotten ahead of Rayburn. 0-2. Swing and a miss. 1-2-3 inning. 5 strikeouts for Indians pitching. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. has had a big night as well. And, well, Doug Fister is being Doug Fister. No walks, 8 strikeouts in 7 innings of work. And he's given up just 2 hits. Fister facing Lonnie Chisenhall as we start things off here in the 8th. Doug has struck out 4 straight Indians batters.
He doesn't walk anybody. It's amazing.
Here's the 0-1. Nor does he give up very many hits. Only 2 in this game. Chisenhall with the ground out and a fly out. Laporta and Carrera to follow. Popped up. Left side of the infield. Don Kelly is under it. And 1 gone. While we have a chance, we'll check in with Shannon Hogan, who's standing by with someone that's been a part of Tigers baseball at the corner and here at Comerica. Shannon.
That's right. David Songer has been singing the national anthem at Tigers baseball games for 24 years. This was your 50th performance tonight. I have to ask you, what has been the most memorable game that you've sung the national anthem at?
Well, out of the 50, I sang at a really cold April early Tigers ball game, and George Brett hit the ball completely out of Tiger Stadium. It was amazing.
I've heard that story a few times. I have to ask, I could never sing the national anthem, not only because I have a horrible voice, but I'd be so nervous. Do you still get nervous after performing that many times?
You know, I've been singing all my life, and I like the big crowd, and no, I really don't get stage fright. I love it. I'm just a baseball fan who just happens to be able to sing.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Mario and Rod, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Shannon, thank you. Boy, it's a joy to listen to him sing the national anthem, and doing it both at the corner in Michigan and Trumbull and here at Comerica Park. A lot of years.
Good voice.
Matt Laporta, the batter. He takes a ball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Laporta single and a fly ball. In on his hands that time. 2-2 on Laporta.
This was a big year for Matt Laporta. The numbers aren't horrible. He has 11 home runs. He's driven in 52, but he was a principal guy coming from Milwaukee in that CC Sabathia deal a few years back, and they thought that his skill set would allow him to put up better numbers than he has put up this year. For the most part, he's been healthy all year, but the numbers just haven't added up yet for Laporta.
Kelly charging off balance throw. He threw it away. Laporta takes the turn and goes to second. And he's in there standing up.
This ball flattened out on Don Kelly, and I think he kind of got his feet crossed up after that, and then he made an errant throw over to first base, and Cabby couldn't help him out on the other end.
Base hit, E5. Only the 3rd hit tonight for Cleveland.
Laporta has 2 of them.
First time the Indians have had a man in scoring position tonight. Here is Ezequiel Carrera. A couple of ground balls this evening, 0 for 2.
Kind of surprised that Carrera really hasn't tried to bunt here today. He has tremendous speed, and when you have a pitcher on the mound like Fister, who's absolutely dealing, and guys like Carrera, they have to utilize their strengths, and part of his strength is obviously bunting the ball.
He hit one back to the mound that Fister made a great play on back in the 3rd. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Two singles for Laporta, a single for Asdrubal Cabrera. The only hits tonight for Cleveland. Tigers have 9 hits. And down he goes.
He can pitch. He can just flat out pitch. He commands 4 pitches. Cutter, 4-seamer, slider, change.
Every inning has been just exactly where you want it or below. Only 17. That's his highest.
18 of 26 in first pitch strikes tonight for Fister against Cleveland batters. And when you have his kind of command, if you're Cleveland and you're sitting at an 0-1 count every time you go to the plate, it makes it nearly impossible for you to get good swings against Doug, and not many of them have gotten good swings against him tonight.
Perry and Schlereth warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Pfister has struck out 5 of the last 7 batters he's faced, and he has 9 for the night.
And he's not overpowering you. He's striking you out with location. Has to be a dream for umpires to catch guys like Pfister, who are always around the plate.
Lou Marson, the batter, he struck him out twice. You remember Pfister being this good when we faced Seattle and he was pitching for them?
Not this good, but I did like the way that he pitched against us. He pitched some good games against the Tigers. He just didn't have any run support. He had good stuff. I liked his stuff, but I had no idea he was this good.
Cued to the right side and caught by Cabrera. Hitting over, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Season will be with you throughout the playoffs for live post-game shows following each Tigers game. Tigers Live playoff coverage begins Friday, and it begins right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Make sure you join us for all of the coverage post-game of all the Tigers playoff games. And Doug Pfister getting high fives and hugs from everybody in the dugout. What a job he did tonight.
I'd give him a hug too if I could get down there next to him.
Tigers have a 6-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 6 runs, 9 hits for Detroit. No runs on 3 lonely hits for the Indians tonight. Santiago, Dirks, and Rhymes facing the Indians here in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch high and away. Santiago is 0 for 3. Fly ball, ground out, strikeout. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. You see 1-1 pitch, and it's hit back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Ramon is on. That'll give the Tigers an even 10 hits. Gonna bring up Dirks now, who's 0 for 3 and the only Tiger that is yet to reach base tonight. See if we can change that here. Scherzer and Gomez tomorrow night for game 2. That bounces in, gets away from the catcher Marson, moves the runner up.
Nice read by Santiago. As soon as he saw that ball heading to the dirt, he broke for second. And knowing it would be nearly impossible for Marson to pick it and then throw him out at second.
And the 1-0. In for a strike. 1-1 on Dirks.
Kluber has thrown a lot of breaking balls the last couple of innings. If you're Dirks, you can probably sit on one. Pretty good bet you're going to get one next couple of pitches.
Driven to right field on a line. It's going to get down. Base hit. And he'll get another run in. Andy Dirks gets on the board with his first hit tonight. Santiago scores a run to make it 7-0.
Well, apparently Dirks was sitting on something soft, and that's what you do in the big leagues when you find a young pitcher out there that's kind of gotten a pattern of throwing lots of breaking balls. You simply sit on one, and he got it, and he drilled it.
Dirks gets his 26th RBI. Now to the top of the order, Will Rhymes. 11 Detroit hits tonight. And there's a base hit to left. 12 Tigers hits tonight. Will Rhymes gets his second hit. Three straight hits greeting Kluber here in the 8th inning. Tim Belcher coming out again.
Well, some of the Tigers players probably have never seen Kluber. Rhymes probably has. They're in the same division in AAA. Columbus plays Toledo, so Rhymes probably has a pretty good idea of what he features. Looks like Jim trying to talk Cabrera out of his next at bat. Good luck.
This is a great conversation right here because you can tell Cabrera wants to hit. And he may have convinced him.
Penny had the sad smirk on his face.
Well, on a night where the Tigers did not start Jackson, Ordonez, Peralta, they have put up 12 hits in this game. Here's Don Kelly. Double hit by a pitch, and he has scored a run. Checked it, but he went. Strike one on Don. One ball and one strike. Single by Santiago led it off. Wild pitch. Then Dirks singled in a run. Then a base hit for Rhymes. Inside. 2-1. Well, how's it shaking down now in the batting title chase? These are up to date tonight. And Cabrera at 342 leads Michael Young, Adrian Gonzalez, and Jacoby Ellsbury.
Texas has not started their game yet. And Adrian Gonzalez of the Boston Red Sox is 0 for 1 so far in their game against the Baltimore Orioles.
Cabrera's got his bat.
Jim tried to talk him out of it. He says, nope, I want to hit. Big fella says he wants to hit. Guess what? you hit.
And the 2-2. Driven to right center field. That's down. Andy Dirks coming around to score. Rhymes all the way to third. The Tigers had another.
Well, Cooper needs to get back to his fastball. For whatever reason, the last couple of innings, the majority of the pitches that he has thrown have been all breaking balls. And he's leaving them up in the strike zone.
So that means that's going to be it for Kluber. Maniacta taking the slow walk out to the mound, bringing the hook with him. As they go to the bullpen, we will be back. Starts with the Indians against Detroit. Nothing new. The Tigers have handled him pretty good.
Well, he has not been able to make the adjustments necessary for him to make quality pitches against a very good offensive club. A 656 earned run average in 23 1/3 innings for Ubaldo against Detroit batters.
New pitcher now for the Indians is Josh Judy.
In 12th game now that Judy has been in. His earned run average is approaching 5 in the 13 innings that he has logged. 8 strikeouts, 4 walks. He surrendered 3 big flies.
'25-year-old out of Morgantown, West Virginia. Josh Judy goes to work now. The Tigers have added 2 more here in the 8th. They lead comfortably in this one, 8-0. Delman Young, the batter. Still nobody out. Will Rhymes, the runner at third base. Don Kelly at first. High fly ball, deep left field. It's back, it's to the wall, and it's gone. A home run. A 3-run shot for Delman Young.
Delman Young has some serious giddy up in his back. First pitch fastball right around the belt buckle. He lifted and he separated and he hit the ball over the Tigers bullpen into the left field seats. Boy, does he have some power.
399 feet on the home run for Delman. 11-0 Detroit. And Miguel Cabrera gets another at bat. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two hits tonight for Cabrera. .342 average, leads the American League. Little looper, shallow left center. That's a 3-hit game for Cabrera.
Back in 08, the first year he put on the Tigers uniform, he won the home run title. And then last year he won the RBI crown. This year, it looks like there's absolutely no denying the big fella in winning his first batting title. He's hitting .343, and you see the other numbers that he has posted since putting on a Tigers uniform. What a player.
Danny Worth will come out a pinch run for Cabrera. There's still nobody out in this inning. 6 straight hits. Driven to center field. That ball is hit hard. Carrera. He's not going to get it. Bounces into the bushes. It's a double.
It cost Victor an RBI.
Worth will stop at third base. Seven straight hits.
Delman Young jumped on the first fastball that he saw from Judy, and he drilled it for a 3-run homer. And then Victor takes a fastball and drills it over the head of Carrera.
And Brandon Angel will come in a pinch run for him. Runs on 16 Detroit hits.
They are the best 4-5 combination in the major leagues this year. No other duo has done the damage that these two have done.
Ramir Santos gets in at bat.
We talked about it at the beginning of the show tonight. These are Major League Baseball ranks for Cabrera and Martinez. You know, you're asking about Doug Fister, and I think he was as good when he was pitching for Seattle before the Tigers acquired him. I didn't think Victor was as good either. No, I knew he was good.
Well, yeah, he was a 300 hitter, but this good? That's fouled back out of play.
He's only got 12 homers, and he's got over 100 RBIs.
Victor with 2 doubles tonight. He drove one in to give him 102 in the RBI category. Pretty amazing. Avila gets the rest of the night off. Santos hitting here with nobody out. Missed it outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's why Cabrera wanted his at bat.
Exactly.
He wasn't going to let Jim talk him out of his at bat. You can pinch run for me if you want to, but I'm going to hit.
A 3-hit night for Cabrera.
Got that baby face too, doesn't he?
He does. Still swing and a miss. Santos is finally the first out of the inning. Whoa, Baltimore now is up 6-2 on Boston in the bottom of the 6th.
Boston has to be tired. They played a doubleheader yesterday, and the second game went, what, 14 innings?
Right.
And their pitching obviously is very thin.
Ball 1 to Rayburn. They came in with a game lead. Tampa playing the Yankees tonight at home, and they are leading 4-2. There's that score.
So it would be a tie if it holds up the way that it is right now between the two.
You are correct.
Oh, my goodness.
If you can believe that, it's unbelievable. 1-0 is a bouncing ball to the right side. Kepis has it go under the glove. Worth will come in to score. They'll stop Inge at third base. 12 runs on 17 hits. So the Tigers bat around here in the 8th. Santiago singled, scored earlier in the inning. Ball 1. First and third, 1 out. Kluber started the inning and then gave way to Judy, who's having trouble getting outs as well. Now the 1-0. Lifted back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers' season high in hits in a ball game is 24, so they're still well short of that. They have 17 tonight. 24 hit game against the White Sox back on September the 4th. Smothered by Marson. 2-1. Inge, the pinch runner at third base. Meanwhile, there's activity in the bullpen. Dwayne Belo is heating up. Wondering if he'll ever get in the game. Fouled back. 2-2 on Santiago. Outside, 3-2. This will be the 30th pitch of this half inning now for Indians pitching. And the 3-2 popped him up. Heading back toward the dugout. There is room, but he can't make the play. Chisenhall got toward the railing, couldn't haul it in. Count stays full, 3-2. Well, a month ago today, August 26th, Boston was in first place in the East. Look at those numbers in the wild card. 7.5 back. Angels 8 back. Pretty wild. Here's the 3-2. Driven down the right field line. Hooking foul. Be an 8-pitch at bat here for Santiago. Number 8 coming up. He started this inning with a single. And he foul tipped it. Stays alive. Marson couldn't hold it. Not a whole lot going right for the Indians in this half inning.
No, that play toward the Tigers dugout. Chisenhall probably should have made that play. Kipnis probably should have fielded the ball that Rayburn hit. But that's what happens when you have lengthy innings like this. The guys get on their heels and they just don't make really good plays behind you defensively. There's no excuses. It's just fact.
Got him. Strike 3. And Santiago is retired. That is the first, look at the second out of the inning. Both of them strikeouts. And here's Dirks. And he 1 for 4. Singled in a run earlier in the frame. 12-0 Tigers lead here in the 8th. Wave and a miss, 0-1. One ball, one strike on Dirks. Three RBIs tonight for Young, 3 for Avila, 2 for Rayburn. 17 total hits for Detroit. High fly ball, left center field and hit well. Carrera's on the run and he won't get it off the top of the wall. Dirks will go to second and the Tigers get 2 more runs in, and that almost left the building.
If you're Lloyd McClendon, you have to be really impressed with the fact that even though your team has this healthy a lead, no one is giving their at-bats away. Every single guy continues to grind, and Dirk's an eyelash away from hitting a 3-run homer.
Meanwhile, for Tim Belcher, this is a helpless feeling. Their staff tonight has given up 14 runs on 18 hits. Rhymes batting again. And he looks at strike one. This is an 8-run 8th inning for Detroit. One ball, one strike on Rhymes. Will has a couple of hits, a couple of runs scored tonight. Here's the 1-1. Way outside, 2-1. This next pitch by Judy will be the 40th of the inning. And here it is, way outside, 3-1. Three and one on Will Rhymes. Fly ball right field. This will chase Fukudome back, but he'll finally get there to finally end the inning. What an inning it was for Detroit. 8 big ones. We go to the 9th. It's 14-0. Score 8 runs in the 8th, and Dwayne Belo, who was warming up for about 25 minutes, finally gets the game.
Well, he ought to be good and loose.
Omir Santos will stay in the game and catch. And Don Kelly is the first baseman. First pitch is outside to Jared Head. Danny Worth stays in the game to play third base. That's fouled back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Head, the pinch hitter here for Fukudome. Last time the Tigers scored 8 runs in an inning, it was April 30th of last season here against the Angels. Comes a ground ball, base hit left field. Pinch hit single. Leadoff man on for the Indians, just their 4th hit of the night. Story tonight, aside obviously from all the offense, Doug Fister, who is in line to get yet another win for Detroit.
Last 16 innings for Fister against the Indians this year. Just 1 run surrendered. No walks.
Cord Phelps pinch hitting for Jason Kipnis. Fister has now gone overall 20 1/3 innings without walking a batter. September 11th against Minnesota, the last time he walked an opposing hitter. It's chopped foul.
That's Greg Maddux kind of stuff.
It is.
Back when Maddux was winning all those Cy Youngs for the Atlanta Braves.
Here's the 0-2. Fouled off. Tomorrow night at 7:05, Max Scherzer, Jenmar Gomez. Wednesday to close out the regular season, Rick Porcello, Zach McAllister. Cord Phelps spent most of the year at AAA this year. Been up and down a couple of times. Hit .294 at AAA. 14 home runs. Knocked in 63 in 97 games. Missed it outside. Santos held it there. 1-2 on Phelps. That'll get back out of play. Almost 30,000 here at the ballpark tonight. 29,886. The official attendance here this evening, with only 2 more home games to go in the regular season. Missed it inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball right field. Rayburn under it. First out of the inning. Luis Valbuena coming up now. He's going to pinch hit.
And Manny Acta's emptying his bench here in the 9th inning.
third straight pinch hitter for the Indians. We've had Head, we've had Phelps, we've had Valbuena, and also Jason Donald now has moved to the on-deck circle to pinch hit. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Well, this time of year, when rosters expand beyond 25 at the beginning of September, managers can make lots of moves, a lot more pieces to work with.
Bouncing ball right side. Kelly has it. He'll fire to second. They get one. Relay. Not in time. Two gone. And now Jason Donald to pinch hit for Travis Hafner. So they're on their feet. Tigers about to win their 93rd game of the year. Strike one on Donald. A 14-0 lead for Detroit. They blew it open with an 8-run eighth. And Velo trying to put the finishing touches on this one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's in there for a strike very quickly. 0-2 on Jason Donald. Here's the 0-2. Tigers have a chance to finish with 95 wins this year if they win out. Quite a season for Jim Leyland, Gene Lamont, the entire staff.
90 wins is a great season.
Here's the 0-2. He takes inside. Ooh, thought we had strike three there as Velo is headed to the dugout. And the 1-2. Inside. Almost hit him. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Donald will forever be linked to Tigers baseball. And that bid for Armando Galarraga in the perfect game.
And the 2-2. Low. Now it's gone full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. I'll never forget the look on Donald's face after he was called safe.
Comical.
It was. I mean, he was kind of incredulous. And we know what happened after that. It was.
The look on Sandy Alomar Jr.'s face, too, the first base coach, in their entire dugout.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Popped him up. Santos discarding the mask. Tigers win.
They whooped up on him tonight.
A 14-0 thrashing of the Cleveland Indians. 8-run 8th inning. The big frame tonight for the Tigers. Their 93rd win of the season. And we'll be back with a whole lot more from Comerica Park right after these messages.